Homeless, the thing people without. The affect of homelessness is anger, not its displaced inversion towards the individual, whether or not one calls it pity, but a totalized anger directed at the administered poverty of this false life, cemented on top of the subhuman misery of others. Who ultimately bears witness to dehumanization? Those who can provide testimony. But testimony requires one who has returned from the hell of affluence. It was the Musulman of the death camps, the living dead who had been reduced to nothingness, through which the greatest crime was burnt into them. A few returned from the abyss as authentic witnesses, the only ones so detached they spectated the disintegration of man and self. The camps are spreading now, an excluded surplus population, excluded because Homo economicus is real only in its conformity with economic measurement. Those who do not sacrifice themselves to buy back their survival are alienated beyond the police term of what defines the citizen. Its commodification is integration into the body of capital. Economics originally meant the management of the household. Those outside of the master's house exist, outside of the dissimulated social contract between labor and capital. We, things, inert objects discarded and swept away. Even trash is housed and compacted. Homelessness is lucrative. Managed scarcity necessitates the spectacle of a tortured body laid to waste, a pool of bodies to be massacred through the structural violence of lack. This torture keeps the masses in line, for to step out is immediate exile. Homelessness is a living threat to obey, thus its permanence. There is fear. To step outside the cave is to see the cave. This fear of freedom is a guilty conscience. In seeing the homeless is to see collective imprisonment. The objectification of the homeless, their identity signified as absence, reflects the black void in those who submit. Just as madness leaked out and was codified by the sane, revealing its own insanity, the homeless are denied a subjectivity because rationality is instrumentalized to extract surplus value. And in living without value, they hence cannot be seen as responsible, and so are unseen. An internal colony, feared, for homelessness eats away the facade of this desiccated existence. Homelessness is a refusal of domestication, but to step away from the superstructures is to become the dominated term of any programmed code. An associative chain of negative poles, synthetically bound in generalized hatred. Take the cliché, get a job, a bizarre phrase, to get a thing, to be a thing, and its synonymous usages. Hatred of blacks and the colored, for a projected laziness, hatred of demonstrators and radicals, hatred of competitors thrown out of employment, hatred of those unable or unwilling to conform, a hatred of one's repressed desires. It is a class hatred, instilled so as to suppress any residual antagonism capable of igniting violent struggle. The only answer to homelessness is anger, an anger whose torrent unleashes revolution and the destruction of the lie.